Cottman, Crawford, and the Jersey Guy podcast.
Hey everybody, Kenny Cottman.
Lewis Crawford.
And I'm Tom Ramage, the Jersey Guy.
Hey everybody, how's it going tonight?
It's going good.
Oh,
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah, you heard that one?
Everything's good. I'm sorry.
No,
That was-
you like zoned out. Yeah. So good.
No, everything's good, man.
Excellent. Yes, so we're here for another episode.
Yeah.
And tonight, I guess we could almost say like a part two to last week's episode. We're talking about cannabis.
Right.
Today is what, Lou?
Earth Day.
Earth Day.
Earth Day.
Yeah.
I have given you all the seed-bearing
Earth
plants
Day.
and herbs to use. That's what a miracle
Take care
water-
of the planet.
I say it's like that. Taking part two, but
Right.
whatever. Yeah. Take care of the planet. Do better things. You know, not as much waste in the ocean. Earth
Try
Day.
not to be
Earth Day is just what we
selfish.
said, right? Earth
Don't
Day.
think about yourself.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
try
yeah.
to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen. We all got to live in the same place.
Yeah, no
The
doubt.
one thing we have in common is this freaking planet.
Oh yeah, definitely. And assholes. Everybody's got one.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
And opinions. All that good
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. No. But what Earth Days we said is this month, right? April.
Yes. It is. I'm
April
surprised we
22.
didn't- Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. Are you asking Tom? Tom's like, yeah, fuck that, whatever.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm a vegan. I've been doing this shit. Y'all are brand new to this.
Well, it's not 420. We know that.
No.
So,
No. 422 is Earth Day.
all right.
Yeah,
It's
I
good
think so.
stuff.
But yeah, so all good.
Yes, you're right. April 22nd.
Remember, you said that shit now. It's now
Oh, I'm
on
just saying,
the air. I'm right.
I'm affirming
Yes, that I'm right.
information.
One more again. Just saying.
Whatever. So I think this is a good one because I wanted to share something with you guys as far as I'm concerned. The things I notice now compared to when I was younger. When I was younger, I didn't give a shit. I was smoking, throwing cigarettes out the window,
Yep.
doing
did
stupid
that
shit
too.
like that.
You
I didn't
too?
really-
You smoked?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Used to be
You know, I don't think I really polluted like through garbage. I may have. I'm not going to say I didn't. I probably did, but I don't think it was something that I was, what most people who just don't give a fuck and just throw shit out of their car and
Yeah,
throw it on the fucking road
definitely.
and everything. And you drive by the road, it's so sad. You see all that garbage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what is wrong with people? We all have to live on this planet. You know, it's sad, when you see that, you're just like, because honestly, even when we were growing up, I didn't see that like that the way I see it now.
Nope, you didn't pay attention.
No, I did.
You don't think so?
No,
Well,
I did.
listen, but we grew up in the 5 boroughs.
I did.
And New
And I
York
was,
City
I'm not
was
saying
fucking
it wasn't
dirty.
polluted. I'm not saying there weren't parts in New York City that were bad.
Right.
I'm just saying when I drove on the highways, when I went away, when I went to go to other states
okay.
and things like that,
Okay.
it didn't look the way. Like when you drive past this, when you were coming here, I don't know which way you guys came, but when you go past the trucker stop right here over the mountain
Uh-huh.
before you come down,
Right.
yeah, look how filthy with all the bottles and the garbage and the plastic bags and nobody's cleaning up. They just leave it like that. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? Really? We're at the point now where we just don't, hey, you know what? I don't care. I don't care if it screws everything up, or I add to the problem.
I'm going to say
Because I'm
this.
just, hey, it's not my truck stop. I just stop here when I need to.
Yeah.
kind of thing,
Well, I'm going to say this.
It's just asinine.
So because of the stuff, the construction, I guess we'll say, that's been happening in this area, there's a lot less trees, and they've been cutting the tree line a little bit further back, I should say. And now I'm noticing, yes, before you even said this, that there is a lot more garbage out there. But I'm wondering if it's just more garbage because we didn't see it.
No.
Because it was behind the tree
No.
line. Because
No, it's different now.
Yeah?
I'm telling you, when we were kids, it wasn't like that. I mean, not to say that it was in certain areas. There was. When we drove around the city, certain areas, unfortunately, were a little
dirtier.
because of
Whatever.
whatever was going on in that neighborhood at that time, right? Everybody's neighborhood was different, but majority of the time, you didn't see it. Not to this extent. And even though I remember the commercials we had then
With the Indian?
and all that for pollution, but when you look at it now,
By the way, he was Italian in real life.
No
He's an
shit.
Italian-
Was he really?
The crying Indian is an Italian actor.
I
He's
think it was
fuck
only
outta
like part or something like that. Like it wasn't all
he's
Indian.
he's like
Yeah, he was Guido from
he's
Off the
like
Boat.
Sicilian. Yeah.
Right?
He's
Shut
like-
up. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
whatever. It was still a good.
I know.
It was still a good point of the commercial. And
Sorry, Lou. Yeah.
No, but I remember that. And what he said is true. I do remember that. So I just, the same thing now. The thing that I always bring up. The same thing with. It just seems like it's disrespect. It's not. The earth is our home, right? We should take care of it because it takes care of us. It gives us air. It helps us eat. It does all the things. It protects us from the sun, but all we're doing is we're just going to town and saying, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be here for a long time or whatever. I don't mean to be like negative, but Earth Day is an important day because hopefully people, when that day comes, they say, yeah, I want to take care of the planet. I want to do the right thing. When I see animals on the side of the road, and now it used to be where they used to pick them up.
Yeah, they used
and
to
then
pick
when
them
you
up
drive
fast
around
enough
now, you could see the same one you saw in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and it's still the same spot when you're driving. And to me, that is the most horrible thing because, first of all, it was a life, regardless if it was an animal or not. If all life is precious, right? Then it's all life, meaning the same thing. So.
Right.
Why would you leave your brother laying on the side of the road if he got hit by a car? Hey, Bob, you got hit the other day. We're going to just leave him there.
Well, you don't know my brother.
Eventually, he'll run away.
If you knew my brother, you'd be like, ah.
But I know I'm being
I know what you mean. No, I
I'm
get
being
what
a
you're
dick
saying.
right now. I'm being a little
no.
too serious. But what I'm saying is
Well-
it's just sad that we've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, we'll just ignore that. Everything's about ignoring things now. It's more like, all right, if I just don't listen to it or pay attention to it, I won't let it bother me. So for me, I'm hoping people, by saying this to people, the earth is your home. We need to take care of it so it can take care of us. If we do the right thing, we go out and do the things that are necessary, whether it's...
Well, you're the only person I've ever seen outside of a state worker to get out of the vehicle and scoop an animal up, not with your hands, just during work.
With a shovel and put him in the grass
shovel
somewhere.
And put him in the grass.
So nature
you're
can
the
take
only
its
person I've ever
course.
seen. I've never, ever seen anybody else do that unless they were taking it home to eat it because,
Yeah, no, I wasn't concerned about it. I didn't want to do that, but I thought it was just, for me, believe it or not, and this is going to sound corny, but I get emotional when I see that because it breaks my heart. It's like, this is a beautiful creature.
Mhm.
Oh, so we'll hit it. Yeah. Boom. We're just going to let it lay there and just fucking rot. So we'll see it for the next 3-4 weeks while we're driving by it. It's just, in a sense, it's disturbing. So for me, it's like, the reason I did that was because it was more like, why do we have to continue to run the poor thing over? Pick it up. Yeah, all right. It's disgusting. It's dead. It smells, whatever it is. But I'm putting it in a spot where I know that nature will take its course.
Mhm.
The environment, the grass, the ants, the bugs, whatever, it'll just break down the way it needs to break down. When it's laying in the street, it's not doing that. It's sad. It just really breaks. What? I'm sorry.
It doesn't make sense to me why people
right. We used to pick them up all the time.
That deer there, and the whole body is swollen.
Right.
Because it's been dead. The animal's probably been dead for several days.
Right. It used to be where, I guess the county or the
highway
state,
department,
they would pick it up. They come, they have the machine, they get it, boom, they throw it in a truck. Okay, that's probably a really shitty job, but it's better than having to see it and drive.
Well,
and get it and put it somewhere where they know it's gonna and just get rid of it.
I know that they do it with the bigger animals, so like they do it, with the deer and
I know they don't because when I worked with him in Jersey, I would go home. And it was a couple of times I would work with him, and the few times within the weeks that I would go, every time I drove by that same spot on 17.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because they can't get through the medium, they just leave them right there on the side of the road, on the left, right near the medium.
Never pick them up.
And they never pick them up.
So then right now there's carcass there. There's still the bones sitting there.
From when I was traveling, now I don't know if there was anything now, but every time I did, when there was one, it was there forever.
Right. Yeah, well,
and it was
I get it.
Oh, come on, really?
Yeah.
Nobody can go friggin' pick this up. It's like, here's another thing. Okay, forget about the animals for now. What about when someone has a car accident?
Mm-hmm.
All that shit that's all over the road. They don't even clean it up.
Well, the tow guy, the person who comes to tow, is supposed
all
to do
the
that.
crap all over. The cops are there, the fire department's there, the ambulances are there. You get the tow guy, he comes, boom, boom. Okay, what about this mess? That's not us. We got to go. Take it easy.
See, the funny is that I've seen the guys who come with the tow trucks sweep that shit up. Like, no lie.
Yeah,
I see them do it. I've seen them do it. So
maybe they do, but they're not. If they are,
they're not as thorough.
Awesome for them for doing it, but there's not enough of them to do what they're doing. Because majority of times when you see something on the highway, you see the broken fender, the glass, whatever it was, or where a car actually caught on fire. You know,
well, it's fucked up. In Jersey.
It's just. I don't think anybody cares anymore. Really, go ahead. What were you going to say? Sorry.
In Jersey, they made the Phantom Clause law. You can't sue the state if you get into a car accident, even if it's the state's fault. So, if you
what you talking about, Willis?
So if they don't clean up an accident and leave the highway, all the shit there, and you fucking pop your tire and flip your car.
Oh, so it's not on them because they left it there.
Yeah. So because that Phantom Clause, you can't sue the state.
So because they have that power, they can make that law, so they can say, "Hey, we're out."
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, it's on the books.
Not it.
Yeah.
We don't have to take care of it.
Depending on, I know in New York that it used to be. I'm lying if I say right now. It would probably be one of those things you got to look up. But if you get a flat tire because you hit a pothole, they pay for the tire. Used to be like that. I don't know if they do it anymore.
I don't know, but if they do, great. But I don't think so because believe me, there's a few times I hit these things and it's like, how can we not make better roads? You know what I mean? It's like, how does this every year? It seems like when they put a new one down, they're already filling in holes because they can't. You know, it's like, do we not have? We do not have the technology. To take a road.
But see, now here's where you get into that other shit because it's about money. Because now the blacktop costs money. So if I turn around and I make that ultimate blacktop, but it's never going to crack, it's never going to potholes or whatever.
Same thing with cars and refrigerators and stoves and all that other shit.
Right, exactly.
Because they used to last a long time, and then now they just...
By the way, interesting fact. Do you know that pavement is like 99% recycled?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
It doesn't, they just add whatever to it.
Because they can with...
whatever...
They can with blacktop, though. You can do that with blacktop. From what I understood, I remember hearing they used to recycle tires, which is a great thing because tires are a really bad thing for the environment. They would chop them up and they would mix them into the asphalt.
Right.
To help with, supposedly it helps with the expansion and the contraction, I guess, with weather as well, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the ice and everything in it so that when it rains, the water gets into the cracks.
Mix it in. So, and I'm like, oh, that's a really good idea. That's the kind of shit you want to hear. I said, so we're recycling it and we're reusing it for our roads.
Probably makes it grip.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's helping so now we're not just leaving the tires sit there or rotting somewhere and put whatever crap in the air and everything. Like, I just, when I was younger, I have to admit, I didn't give a shit. I was doing my own thing. We all were. But for me, as I got older, it's more in touch with the way I see things. It's just like... It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So
No, I get it.
But, I'm glad we have a day like Earth Day. I just wish it was taken more seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We all need to just, I agree, we all have to take a little bit more care of the planet. That's just something they need to. And I'm not so much just doing it for environment as much as I do for money. But now bottles of water are ridiculous. The price of water is insane. So what I've been doing is, I went and I bought a couple of the water bottles, reusable.
Yeah. Right, so they don't have all that crap. What is it?
BPA.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Thank
all that stuff in it, and then that's what I've been drinking
so
water out of.
From the plastic and all that.
Yeah, that's what I got with me over here.
Me
now.
too. I bring it to work every day. I have a whole bottle of water.
And that's what it is. That's what I do. Not with everything, and like I said, there's only a few things that I'll be careful with and whatnot. I laugh at people that get mad because they're talking about electric vehicles. And, for those who don't know, they're so stuck on the old way. So an electric car is faster off the start at a drag strip than a combustible engine.
Because that's the most important thing that I should need to know.
For me, anyways. For me, it is, yo. Because I'm all about going that kind of
fast.
How
fast I am taking off in my new electric car.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Versus a combustible engine.
I got to go faster.
Combustible engine.
Got to go faster.
Yeah, no, I get it, bro. I love you, man. It's funny. It's just so funny.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was his thing,
Yeah. That's what it is. You know,
The takeoff on them is supposed to be really
Yeah,
it's
super
it's
fast.
putting you back because it's straight power. It's not about having the combustion. So you
Right.
need the gas and the oxygen to explode in the engine that makes the pistons
And
move.
isn't the
that
weight
makes
of
it
the
go.
car? I'm sure they weight the car a certain way. I'm saying, isn't it less now, or is it the same with a car that has an engine?
So because we didn't look all this shit up and we didn't pay that much attention, so it's just it probably is a little bit lighter, but the center of gravity is different. So that now not all that weight is sitting in the front of the car,
Right.
Like a
It's-
motor is.
it's
It's
probably
distributed
equaled
across
out,
the
right.
bottom of
that
the
must
car.
be a
and I
huge,
think-
a weird.
Yeah, to drive.
It
I
must
haven't
be a
driven
good
one yet.
ride. It's gotta be like
that's what she said.
like those super crazy roller coasters that are on the magnetic propulsion.
Right, something like that. It's got to feel. I mean, I'm sure, but it's still one of those things where I said people that don't want to let go of fossil fuels is because they feel like there's nothing faster. It's this, it's that, and for me, I'm all about the speed. If I can get an electric car that's gonna just take off,
Right.
it's all about the gears. Now it's mechanical. It's a machine. So I work on machines.
Right.
So then it's about the gears, the cogs, and the power going straight to the tires.
How
That's
fast
going
it's
to the
gonna
tarmac. How fast it's going to take off. That's where my head is at.
Well, think about the roller coasters, the ones that like King Dakar.
Yeah,
goes up.
off of
That's
one time.
electric.
That's all I did.
It's electric magnet.
I'll never go back on that fucking thing again.
This guy.
To me, like it's
I did
just,
it one time, and
They're called dragster.
You just
they
look
actually
at
have
that
a name
roller
for that
coaster
type
and you're
of roller
like,
coaster, dragster. It's
Yes.
called, yeah. But to me, it didn't. I didn't get freaked out by it, but I had to wait like 2.5 hours to get
Right,
on that
yeah.
ride for a ride that's 10 seconds. Like,
But don't because everybody and their mother was trying to get on it.
Yeah, but 10
mortifying
that's a
the way
10-second
that
ride.
thing took off. I thought I was going to shoot off the track in that thing, man.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
oh
a 10-second ride though. That's what I
Yeah.
hate. It's just
No,
so
but
quick.
see, but I don't like it. Well, not that I don't like
I
it.
don't like that it's fat. Like it's
Oh,
it's
see,
done and over with.
no,
and
my
But that's
problem
kinda-
is the track. You look at that track, and a little bit off topic, but you're looking at a track. It's being held up by one pole that's a point in the middle of it, and then a whole bunch of bridge cable wires that have it strapped down so it doesn't.
And then
fall
they have
over.
the people now that who sit in the seats
Yeah.
between the thing now where they drop.
Yeah, it's like a
It's a free fall type
yeah, I
thing
forgot what it's
that
called.
they have.
It's like
It's
a
crazy.
parachute drop thing. Yeah,
So,
no, I'm not.
yeah.
But anyways, that's what. But anyway,
But,
the point is that
that's what
but that's
the
a
roller
perfect
coaster is the
example.
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the perfect example of the electric power to, like I said, just straight boom, bang, bing, and you're
Right.
moving, you're gone.
The only problem now that they're finding out with electric cars, because of how they have to make the batteries,
Mhm.
is the fact that they burn hotter. If a car goes on fire,
Right.
a regular a truck couldn't put it out with just water. They came up with a certain, I guess there's a chemical or
Yes.
something that they use now to suffocate it because it burns so hot.
Right. But see, but
So
that's
there you go again.
but
There's
that's
always
a
something
different-
else, right? So there's
right. Well, it's always something.
there's
no
always
matter
going to
what.
be something.
But
we
that's
figure
what.
it
But
out.
that's what the fire extinguishers have always been with. You use yada yada fire extinguisher to put out this
one,
kind of
right.
fire.
But they never had it. But that was the problem with I remember watching. I think it was on the news, and the fire department was explaining we didn't have the right stuff when they started coming out, and they were going because they burn so hot you can't put it out. Whatever, it takes forever.
You got the right stuff.
It takes forever to put it out with just water and what they have.
Well, but that's the thing. It was a foam. Now it's probably
Now
just a
the
different
foam-
kind of foam.
Yeah, different. kind of
They've
foam.
always had a
Right.
yeah. I don't know.
They have to suffocate it out.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's like
Super hot.
I just it's always something. No matter what, there's always going to be something to say.
Right.
Like now.
But I'm sure there'll be less
fires.
fires than there would be gas burning cars all day long. So you got to
Wait,
kind
say
of
it
look
again,
at
say
it.
it
In
again.
other words, you're not having that many cars go on fire. Yes, I'm sure there is a few that go on
Combustible engine.
No, I'm talking about electric cars
Right.
versus having combustible cars just driving all day long, burning off fumes on gas. So I'm sure it equals out in some way or another. But
Well,
still,
It's just the main thing that matters is the footprint. I think that's what the one thing that people don't
Combustible.
get. It's the footprint. So you don't have the same footprint driving an electric car as you do driving a combustible engine, like a regular gas engine, fossil fuel car.
right, you're not polluting the air.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's
Right.
a good thing.
But then how do you charge your car? So you have an electric car, how do you charge it?
You have to go to a charging station
And where does the electricity come from?
from a power plant,
Which
what
is
is a
run
power
by
plant?
which is run by what?
fossil fuels.
fossil fuels.
Right, which is natural gas.
Unless you have a nuclear power plant.
or nuclear
Right.
power.
Well, but then
Which is
that
what we
still
have.
kicks in.
Solar.
That's what we have, don't
Right.
we?
You have a nuclear power plant near here?
What's the one that's in New York?
Yeah, right over here in Middletown.
Oh,
I
is
think is that a nuclear? That's not a
No,
nuclear.
that's gas. That's
And Indian Point they closed.
No, the
Did
one
they?
that's by the store. When we,
That's Indian
Haverstraw.
Point.
Yeah,
That's Indian Point.
That's not closed.
Then they closed. I thought they had
There's still
3/4
steam
closed
coming
it.
from-
No, that thing's
That's
working.
probably why. There's probably one reactor still.
Yeah, I think there's just like only one. I think it's mostly closed down.
Problem is, it takes years to
Are you
shut off
sure?
a reactor.
I don't think so.
Yeah. There was a conversation about
That's
that.
See, the thing with nuclear power is, it takes like years to shut off the reactor because it has to cool down.
Right.
Like, the whole point is the heat. So like a lot of people don't know, like there's no difference in a coal power plant, diesel power plant, or whatever, natural gas or nuclear power plant. The only thing they need is the heat and energy. It's still a steam turbine. They're all steam turbines. So basically they have to make steam. Steam blows through the turbine, it spins the turbine to create energy.
Okay.
So the only difference is with nuclear, they get the heat from nuclear. It's just continuous heat from nuclear fusion, right?
Okay.
So they create that nuclear reaction. Now the rod is hot forever,
Right.
for like years.
Right.
So it's just submerged it's in a boiler, and it just creates steam.
Got it.
And that steam goes through a steam turbine, but the same thing happens with fossil fuels.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's just a
technically-
boiler
but yeah, but
using
isn't-
coal or natural gas or whatever.
Are there any fumes coming from a nuclear plant though?
I think it's filtered like through.
Well, it's not the same as fossil fuels though.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
But that's the
steam,
thing.
but I mean, there's no radiation in the steam. Is what I'm
Right,
saying.
right,
Yes.
exactly,
Fucking
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly,
So it says
yeah.
here, New York Indians Point nuclear power plant closes after 59 years of operation. The Indian Point Energy Center, Indian Point, permanently stopped generating electricity on April 30th, 2021, when it was retired in the last opening nuclear reactor,
There you go.
Unit 3, earlier than originally planned. So yeah, so it was 2 years ago. It was
Mhm.
shut down.
Yeah.
But you still see it when you drive by. So but I see steam coming out of that.
Right, but it might be like
That's what I'm saying.
well,
It
like
might
Tom
be
was
one
saying.
reactor.
Well, like you're saying.
But in order
It's cooling
for
down.
those rods to cool down,
Right.
it takes years.
So
they
about
just leave
another
they just leave
1,000
the power
years
plant
still.
online. They leave that one. That's why they shut down the 2 reactors, because they were able to do it.
Yeah.
So that last one is probably they probably kept adding the reactors on. So that's probably the last reactor that they added on. So they have to
Right.
wait whatever X amount of years to shut that down.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's bananas. But again, like I said, it's just a matter of what your footprint is.
Because if there's no water going to it, you got to melt down.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
but that's
Chernobyl.
the pro-
Right, that's
they
Chernobyl.
had to explode.
Remember the
but I'm
movie
saying-
China Syndrome?
Yeah.
You remember
Yes,
that movie?
yes.
That was, I think that was 70s, right? China
Oh,
Syndrome?
shit. Is it
That was
something
about a
like-
nuclear
yeah.
power plant having a meltdown.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, like Tom is saying, Chernobyl, the China
I mean,
syndrome.
Chernobyl,
that was
they
movie
had
like,
something explode. Then they had the meltdown. But
right. Yeah.
That movie-
Yeah.
And the movie on HBO about
Yeah,
that
that
was,
was crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Did you
crazy.
see that?
Mile
Yeah,
Line,
there's a
God.
documentary.
Right?
Yeah.
3 Mile
No,
Line.
not the
meltdown,
documentary.
yeah.
The movie
Oh no, I didn't see the movie.
that they did,
It was
Chernobyl.
It was a series. There was a
It was a
couple.
series
It was
on
a-
HBO.
Oh,
It was
good.
Yeah.
crazy.
I
They
gotta
show
watch
the
that.
guy with
You
the
need to
skin.
watch that.
They show how like the guy got the nuclear poisoning. Like the fireman. The skin was coming off.
Shut
Like it was just
up.
melting.
His body's just breaking apart. Like his just
Yeah.
on a cellular level. Like
Stop.
he's falling apart.
No, it
I
was
gotta check
crazy.
this shit out.
Way to go, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm sure.
Fuck. That's. I think that I used to think burning to death or drowning to death was the worst way. That's the worst. way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would say, hey,
Nuclear
you need to.
poisoning.
Well, was he in? And it's just almost
Of
like
course
a
he was in
stupid
pain.
No. Well, I mean, what my question was going to be was, could they give him medicine? Like, were they giving him drugs to calm some of the pain? Or
I think they said like morphine wouldn't work. Or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
or some
Yeah.
fucked up shit
Yeah,
because
bro.
of the way. Yeah.
see, that's what I'm saying. But like,
That's
again,
assisted suicide.
They were so
Yeah,
arrogant
no
when
shit.
when that accident happened. It was just
yeah.
It was just-
Well, again, this is what I'm saying. This is what I think. What we people have to understand. It's just what your footprint is. You know what I'm saying? It's just how much are you using and kicking
well,
back
we all
the
need to
thing.
be on the same footprint. We have to all, in order for things to get better. So think about it. All the things that were here before the human race, they didn't have this problem. Not to say they didn't have tsunamis and tornadoes and
Mhm.
hurricanes. Yeah, that was part of the thing. Dinosaurs were here for fucking ever. All right. The only
they
reason
were.
that they were gone was because they got wiped out. and the planet was flourishing
Right.
because they were one with the fucking planet. Here comes the human being race. Here we come, right? Eventually, we get to the point where we're smart enough to do certain things, and one thing leads to another, and then next thing you know,
we are where we are.
It's out of control.
So
It's out of control because we're so arrogant to the point that we think we're so superior and that we're better than everything, and that we're so smart. But at the same time, we're willing to risk everybody else's lives because it benefits me, depending on who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that goes in a whole other subject, but we won't go into that.
Well, all right. So dig it. Here's my question for you then. Okay, because you know I like doing this shit to you. Devil's advocate part comes in. Is it so climate change, global warming, right? So now, is it climate change because of the cycle that the planet goes through?
No.
Why not?
No.
Why not? Because
what's
Well,
happening?
I think it's both. I think.
I think what's happening is that we're adding.
Well, yeah.
So let's say it does. Yes, there's horrible periods of weather happen at certain points in Earth's history where it was floods or this or that or famine, whatever it might have been.
right.
Whatever we're man-made is adding.
So it's just
definitely-
faster.
It's escalating.
It's more.
No.
it
My
makes it more
question. No.
extreme,
So
that's what I'm
it's
saying.
totally-
But then so now in Antarctica, I believe it was Antarctica, when they dig down and they do their core samples,
Right.
taking pieces of that, they have found ferns that are still whole, that are still there.
Oh, because they're frozen. Yeah.
Because they're frozen, they're below the surface, like a couple of miles below
Right.
the ice surface. They just found a couple of years back, a little bit more than that, they found whole woolly mammoths.
Well, they've been finding those all the time, and now they want to bring them back. Now.
So that then the question is
That's a
it
whole other
just a
podcast.
matter of the, like I said, it's just the climate change.
The problem
it's just
is
whatever
now-
happened
well,
at
right
that
now,
moment that
look
just
at the flooding that's going to occur.
Right, because everything is
all-
melting.
Right, the Anaconda pieces of ice are just
Right.
breaking off. Just that's adding to the problem. It's just the one thing I'm going to be happy for, and I'll be sad for my kids and their kids.
Mhm.
But I'll be gone when it gets to the point where it's just about to get at its worst if we don't do something quick enough. And even if we start now, it's really not going to make a dent for at least a couple hundred years before it gets to where it needs to be.
Well, I mean, but it's just going to be different. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just going to be different. I don't see it as negative. Now, feel me. I'm not saying that what we're doing now that we shouldn't do better. We should treat the planet way better than we're doing. Treat each other way better than we're doing.
Yeah, but bro, we're killing the oceans. We're killing because
Yes.
the ocean needs oxygen to live in order for the animals to live. If they don't have that, they die.
Right.
If
You know what-
bumblebees die. If bumblebees,
Right? They can't.
no,
Right.
we die.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You need bumblebees.
Right.
So it's not about that. It's not about no, fuck you. Do the right thing. Smarten up. Stop being selfish. Stop throwing your trash all over the fucking place and acting like a slob.
Yeah,
And
like I
do
said,
the right thing.
there
Be
are things that we
respectful,
need to do.
and
Right.
stop worrying about yourself.
Right.
Poor me, you know what? Whatever. We all are going through shit. And yes, things are harder because of technology and the advancements we're making. But I think it's just to the point where it's like, what the fuck?
But
When you see it, when you drive by and it's obvious when you see it,
Right.
it's like, how does it not make you feel bad? Like I said before, you have to ignore it. You almost get to the point where you can't you have to say, I see it, but I'm not going to pay attention to
Right,
it kind
right.
of thing, So,
But I think a lot of it has to do with things need to change. So like,
Absolutely.
you know where I'm going to go with this, right?
yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you should go there because
Because
I'm guilty of that. And only because we don't. Go ahead. You finish your thing, but I
so,
know
like,
exactly where you're going.
animal agriculture actually is like the number one contributor to greenhouse gases, or they're like in the top three. So don't quote me at that because I'm sure it's gonna be, actually it's by 2% difference. But what the point is that they're one of the higher contributors to greenhouse gases because of the scale. We in globally 56 billion animals are killed a year for like food, just for like and then whatever we take from the sea. But like, so like what happens is it's the amount of like, you know, the cows like with the greenhouse gases
Right.
and all their like fecal matter and all
Right.
that shit. It all contributes to greenhouse gas. So that's one of the things too. So
Right.
I was-
And they're having a hard time recycling
ocean
that
dead
stuff and
zones,
getting it to the point where they're able to contain it,
And the
it's
other problem
making it more and more difficult.
is ocean dead zones, right?
Right.
So like a lot of people don't realize, like, I think like it's like a high percentage of I don't have to, I wish I had the numbers in front of me, but like the amount of crops grown in the world, like majority of it's to feed animals.
Right.
So that's the other thing. So what happens is now all these fertilizers are emptying into rivers, and the rivers empty into the oceans, and you get ocean dead zones. Like around the Gulf of Mexico, I think it's like there's like a 70-mile radius of where like any fish that goes there, it's so fucking toxic they die.
Wow.
And there's no algae living there
Right.
either, or no, because there's no animals, like the algae's just like took over.
Right. It's just like a crazy
Yeah.
cycle.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
just-
no, I get
and
it,
it
and
just
I
increases.
understand.
There's no
Yeah.
animals eating the
Right.
plankton, so like
Right.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, I get it and I understand that. And like I said, I know there's a lot of things that we need to do different. But you know, for me, it's not 100% for me. It's I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things where how much of it, like you said, so we've heard, you know, oh, it's the fucking cows farting. If they happened before, then you know what the fuck, it was just what it is. You know, the dinosaurs
Right.
farted.
Yeah, but look at the
Yeah.
but look
That's
at
why.
it. Look at
It's
the
not like-
amount of. It's more production now than it was.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not like
because-
regular farms and stuff like that. I get it. Now you're adding right.
It's
or
the
like you're-
size, so
the
like-
size of the amount of animals that you're using and how much food you're
like-
making and
Like, you know, back like hundreds of years ago, like people didn't consume this much,
Right.
Like,
Right.
right.
animal flesh. Like it's just like, you know what I mean? Like,
And that's the
it's-
other thing because everything's right. Not to cut you off. I'm sorry, but everything's so readily, easily to access now.
It's cheaper
right?
too because the government subsidizes animal agriculture.
Right.
Well-
Heavily subsidizes animal agriculture. Otherwise, like if they didn't subsidize it, I think they said like the price of like a cheeseburger would be like $20 or some shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
ridiculous.
Right,
you know?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I guess for me, it's, you know, we, for the basic stuff. So we need to calm down on the plastics. You know what I'm saying? We need to recycle more. We need to do that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you know, me, again, you know, as far as like electric vehicles are concerned, they're fast as fuck. So I would love to.
No, I agree with you. I think that's a good direction to go in. Absolutely. I mean, anything that's positive, the other stuff eventually, hopefully, you can figure that stuff out, and make those things better, so that those things don't get worse.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot
start
of it,
off,
well,
you
for
know.
me, a lot of it is the money. So like, you know, you have the fossil fuels, you have to pay for this stuff. You know, if you have clean energy, solar, you know,
Right.
wind power, stuff like that.
Right.
If I could turn around and have a turbine, you know, a wind turbine on my roof, and I can charge my car, motorcycle,
Yeah, I do it in a freaking heartbeat.
right, I would do that because I don't feel like paying, you know,
That's what drives me crazy.
Because there's ways of doing that, and we should be able to
Towns-
power our own homes and do that on our own without having to pay for.
mhm.
Imagine
or,
if we all had wind turbines on.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a car wash in Wayne, New Jersey. I was going there, and when I was, and the guy, he was in he had like all these newspaper articles. He was trying to get a wind turbine on his at the car wash, and the town kept shutting him down. And he was going to he had all these the newspaper was like, say what? And he's like, I don't know why. And the town's like saying it's going to be an eyesore, and they wouldn't put it
Right.
up.
Of course, like a cell tower is not an eyesore, but
Yeah.
a wind turbine will,
Because
Right.
it moves, you know, on like a cell,
Right.
you know, like
because they'll lose money.
so. He finally got it, and it's a tiny thing, but like that can go on everyone's house.
But
Can you
now-
imagine if it was like the wind turbine's probably like 4 feet in diameter.
But
maybe.
see, now here's the thing though. There's
Yeah.
different kind of wind
yeah,
turbines.
it's not like
so
the
there's
kind that you see.
right. There's not like the big, you know, the huge one. It was like a plane propeller.
Right.
They have these other ones. So here's a good one. Jay Leno on his garage where he keeps all his cars and he works on them and whatnot is run by clean energy.
Right.
It's not plugged into the.
yeah.
It's not, you know, plugged into the grid, and he's got his turbines on his roof aren't the big propeller winds.
Yeah.
They are vertical, and it looks almost like a I guess the easy way to picture a straw, and you cut holes into the straw. So that this way, you know, you could have the panels out. So when
Yeah.
the breeze comes in, it just spins it, and that's his turbine. That's what he does and uses for his garage, and that's what it runs on. You know, and it's like, why wouldn't you? I would like it just because I wouldn't have to pay the electric bill.
Right. I think that every family, every home should be able to power their own. If there's a capability of doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're able to do it, we should be allowed to do it. Why should we be a slave because of a company offers a certain power supply, whether it's gas or electric or whatever it is? Why are we? Oh, so we can't do our own thing. We have to have that because that's the law.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but if it gets to a point where we're able to do that on our own, we should be able to do that where people, and I think it would be cleaner, I think it would be better because then people are really going to go for those things. Hey, if I could power my home and do this and charge my car like you just said and all that.
Right. Well,
But the problem is, again, is money.
Well,
And
solar.
if you lose money.
Right. Well, solar right now, you can put solar on your house and
Right.
and it's all good. You know what I mean?
And it's
whatever.
really good. And
Right.
and it works really
You know,
well.
I said I like the wind one because, you know, it just doesn't.
Or
to-
anything.
Yeah. I just like the wind one better. You know, I just
Hey,
like the way it
whatever.
looks, you know. But
It's
still,
clean.
the point is just that, you know, it's now then the other part of the conversation again would be how do you make the turbines? How do you make the solar
No,
panels? All that stuff is what it is
Right. No,
that we're
but you
saying we need to.
you don't need to make it.
Well,
you
no,
just
not
need to
us
be-
literally, but just
No, I'm
where
saying-
we're buying it from.
They make them all over the place. They do more
Right.
of that.
Again,
So
then
my-
it's the footprint. Because
right, exactly.
now,
But what I'm saying is that then every homeowner or family or whatever should be able to do without having to worry about being a slave to a power company.
well, yeah, I'm just saying, but we're talking about what the footprint is, and
What does it
and-
matter? If you're going to use one energy compared to my energy and Tom's energy, if it's all clean energy, all good, no problem.
I'm talking about when they make the product. So then they're going to make
They're
us
being
a
made
solar
all the time.
panel.
Solar panels are being made all the time.
Right. And how much of a footprint is it putting on the environment that then that's where the argument comes in. You get me?
Gotta be less than.
Oh,
Well,
it's gotta
I'm just
be
saying,
way
but you get
less.
what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
like, you
it
know,
has a footprint to make it, but I think the amount that output it, you know what I
It's
mean? It pays
nothing
for itself,
compared
guys.
to,
you know,
yeah.
it like pays for itself footprint wise. You know what I mean? Like as where like you know how like you have what is it what's the word I'm looking for whatever I forgot what I was gonna
yeah,
say.
good one, dude. You good, dude.
ADHD.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I see what you're saying. It
Oh, like when you buy like a season pass, right? You know, to like a theme park, right? You pay for it, and
now you can go anytime you want.
and then go anytime you want, and it pays for itself after like
Right. After
you go
three visits.
three times. So like
Right.
it's the same thing with like solar power. Is like yeah, it uses a certain amount of carbon footprint, but after like several years, it doesn't have any other.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
After you use it, that the whatever energy it costs to make it pays for itself.
Right.
After the years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that.
And now you're getting a tax break on it too. Because
Right.
now you get something to write off, whether it's if it's solar or whatever it is that you're using. Because now there's other stuff that's coming out. For life of me, I can't remember, but I do know the technology is getting better. But of course, there's always a push on that because there's other things that people don't want to
Right.
get involved in. And
Well,
I always
people don't
think
want to change, bro.
Well, but it's not even that. You got to talk about the people who are supplying us with our gasoline and
yeah,
and
but
that,
again, that's where the money comes in. And that's what I'm
Right.
saying. This is where the brains
Right.
like kills me.
So
that then-
my thing is that if you have that, like for example, Sears Roebuck had a catalog back in
Right.
the day,
Mhm.
right? Why aren't they the first ones to do the Amazon thing when they were already doing it before everybody did it? They just did it out of a catalog. It was a mail-in catalog, right?
yeah, that's it.
But it's like everything else. Nobody paid attention to the
So why don't the other companies who are making the oil and everything? You would think
that they
okay,
would jump in and do it.
and
yeah.
start doing the right thing because hey, okay, if this is where we're going, why don't we be the ones to be the leaders? Okay, yeah, of course they're going to look to make as much off of it as can.
Right,
They're
yeah.
gonna overprice
Exactly.
it.
We're going to use
But
it
at
until
least
it's fucking
maybe if it goes in the right direction,
right.
it
You're
won't.
going to drive that shit until the wheels fall off.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. You know, nobody's going to stop doing it until there's something, like, oh snap, where was it? Somewhere, shit kebab. I can't remember where the fuck it is now. It was on the news not too long ago, and they were talking about the sinkholes that were happening as of late, and that they felt that those were they were in old mining towns and such. Well, not old mining. The people still lived there, but it was mining towns, and everything that they took out, they didn't replace it with anything else. So now all those tunnels and everything else that they
But
dug
what about
out.
Florida and all that? They were all having that too. Florida has sinkholes. You got sinkholes all over the freaking place.
But the reason for the sinkholes in Florida are different than the ones in a mining town.
Exactly, but it's still sinkholes and they're huge and they're swallowing people's asses right up.
But we're
You know what I
talking
mean?
about.
So-
But we're talking about the energy. I think that in Florida is because of the water. You know what I mean? It's because of the
No, it's just
ocean
'cause
and
it's
what
all
it is.
sand. You can't
Well,
really
that's what I'm
build
saying, right?
anything
So
on
that's
there.
what it is. But in these mining towns in the Midwest and inland that are further inland, is because they were taking out the coal, they were taking out
PA's
the
a
oil.
mining town, right? It's all
Right.
coal.
So then now the theory is that in a handful of years, that the town is going to basically sink because there's nothing supporting underneath.
Yeah, but usually
underground.
the mining is done somewhere way out of the difference between. It's not actually done underneath the town. Hey, we're gonna mine underneath the
Well,
town.
yeah,
it's way out somewhere
but now you
away
forget-
from that.
So how many places haven't you heard where there used to be a cemetery and now they're building houses on it?
Yeah, that's because
Right. So
for
the
what
same
reason?
thing. It's the same thing with the mining. So that then now
Yeah, it's a mine from like 200 years ago.
right. So it was
or
a mine in
whatever.
in fucking
now they're-
1735.
Right.
Now
okay.
people forgot about it. Or
Right,
they're just
Right.
like,
Oh, I see what
"Ah,"
you're saying.
know what I mean?
Okay.
Now
Well,
we're gonna build the
but he
town.
didn't give that information.
Well, bro, you just fucking jumped in on like I'm trying to tell you this shit. I'm just God, Jesus, give me a fucking chance. I'm trying to sound educated.
But I see what
yeah,
you're saying.
that's what I'm saying. That's what the whole thing is. So that then it.
I was thinking more present.
Oh yeah, no. I'm thinking like I said, but that's the whole thing. People are only thinking present. People are only thinking now. I'm gonna be dead in another 20 years.
I know.
Fuck it, whatever
Yeah, fuck it,
happens.
yeah.
What happens then for the next few generations? What's gonna happen with them? You know, we watch Star Trek all fucking day long. We're like, it's gonna be beautiful.
No,
Meanwhile, we were
I
supposed,
hope.
according to fucking, watching the movie Back to the Future, we were supposed to be in fucking flying cars right now. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right.
So it's what are we doing for our generation?
Now
We're
we're
bitching.
in the Biff timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
We're fucking
Right,
Biff is
exactly.
it. No,
Biff
we're in
fucked it all up.
we're in a
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like we're the
Yeah.
ones, we came from a different place, and I'm looking in and I'm going, what the fuck happened?
Right, and that's what our kids
You know
are
what I mean?
doing.
Right. So, my kids too, because they they had me as a parent, so that's why. So they came from their generation's not what's going on.
Oh
now,
yeah, no.
is
I'm
what
saying, but that's what that's what the kids now
Right.
are thinking. Like, what the living fuck did you guys do to
Right.
us? Like,
But I don't think our generation really did anything until technology started kicking in more, and then it was more plentiful. The more stuff was more accessible.
Right.
You can go and get anything you want now, anywhere.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then just everything is just so much consuming and
Oh yeah, definitely.
want and all
Like
that,
there's,
you know,
there's
it's
just
just
so
crazy.
much.
It's
People are
crazy.
so afraid of change that they don't want to hear that there could be something better.
Oh, I'm not afraid of
You
change.
know,
I always
but-
looked for the future and hoping for those things that would come.
But you know why we're good with change? Because we've seen change.
right.
You get
Well, you see change every day now, even now with all the technology.
Right.
So
We
these
pay
kids are
attention to it.
running away with it. The guy that I follow, he's like, he always says, I can't remember his name, but anyway, he's like a motivational speaker. He's a businessman, and he says, the young people, they take advantage of the technology now. They make money off of it. They know how to use it, whatever. He says, I wish I can get more people who are in their early 50s to their 60s, whatever age it is. He says, you're not dead yet. You could still do this.
right.
You just need to do what they're doing, and then you can get the same success and use those things because they're running away with it.
Right.
But because we have what they don't have.
Right.
So even though they're doing all that, he's like, you guys have the knowledge, the things, the experience, the things that would make it even better for you. Not that they're not doing a good job, but you guys could run away with it if you just let yourself be comfortable
Right.
with yourself and comfortable with that
Well,
type
see,
of technology.
here's why I find it funny. I think those of us who watched Star Wars, who watched Star Trek, Lost in Space, or those old sci-fi shows, that we're more open to it. The people that didn't watch it don't want to hear that shit because those are the ones that fight us all the time.
Right. Well, that's a whole other subject.
I mean, it's
but I
that,
don't
yeah.
even
Well, I'm
wanna go
just,
that
I
way.
mean, well, it's just one of those. It was that moment.
But I'm
Sorry.
saying, but the young
Sorry.
generation that they're into, they're voting more. They're paying attention to things more. They're starting to
The younger
starting,
kids.
the young
Right,
generation
right,
are
yeah.
more able to vote and do everything.
Right,
now.
because they see that how
these
much
guys
shit
are-
we
right,
fucked
so,
up.
So they noticed that the planet and everything, they're a little bit more extreme, maybe a little bit more sensitive than we are when we grew up.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Some are a little,
Mhm.
but so there is some kind of hope there because you're seeing something going on. You're
Yeah.
seeing that these young people are
Yeah, they're
getting
trying to make the
involved
change. Yeah,
and trying to
'cause-
do the right thing and say, hey, wait a minute, this does not make sense. We got to take care of the planet, which is good.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah, definitely.
Whatever your fight is that you need to support and take care of do the right thing for the world, it's good with me, man.
Yeah, that
As far
works.
as I'm
well,
concerned.
Tom's already doing it. He's a
He's already
vegan,
doing.
so
He's a vegan.
yeah.
He's always out
He's
there
good with
doing
that
his
shit.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's always doing his thing.
definitely. So, any last words? No, wait, that sounded wrong.
Any last words?
Any last words?
What's gonna happen? Any last comments for the show this evening?
No, just it's as I brought up before, about animal agriculture. I think it's a big contributor, and it's an easy to me,
Which is human made.
Yeah. It's human made, so,
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
we're all our own worst enemy when it comes down to it. It's just because we're blind to see not. It's like again.
Yeah.
It's just
easier
if you
now
don't pay attention.
It's easier now than ever to go vegan.
Right.
Just
So-
saying.
Yeah,
Just saying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, that was our little rant on taking care of the earth.
Yeah.
We got a little bit out there, but
Little debate.
still. But yeah, it was
yeah,
all
it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I appreciate everybody for listening. Again, follow us, like us, send your comments into all of our
Facebook, Instagram.
Yes.
Yup. And that's it.
We're on Apple now.
Yes, Apple. So podcasts all over. We're everywhere. So hit us up.
Sir.
Yes. Send it says send messages. We want to do a mailbag one day. So, people comment,
Just-
future show ideas.
Yep.
Just because.
It'd be fun.
Yeah. And even too, it'd be cool if we could get somebody who comes up with something worthwhile and maybe even have them on as a guest.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I just thought about that right fucking now.
So we have a few things set up. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got things going on. We're on weekly now. So, hit us up, peoples. So again, thank you for listening. Thank you guys for being here. Love, peace, and hair grease.
live long and prosper.
And go vegan.
Holla.